entire book is built upon a motorcycle metaphor. I've been riding motorcycles for the last 10 years. And I think it's an incredible mode of transportation, especially considering, good God have mercy, how expensive gas prices are right now. Okay. So also on my motorcycle gets about 50 miles to the gallon versus the typical vehicle, which might get like 16 to 25 miles to the gallon. And so one of the things that God started downloading to me, Dr. Cheryl, a long time ago, is that there are so many different life lessons and business lessons that parallel that of motorcycle riding. And so what I began to do is I started distilling those lessons. And so I put them in this book. We got the book deal during the pandemic. Here's what I firmly believe. Not everybody went through the pandemic the same. I'm gonna say that again. Not everybody went through the pandemic the same. And Dr. Cheryl, you and I are both testaments of that. Yeah. Businesses grew, right? Family grew. Things actually got better during the pandemic. Why? Because how you pivot is more important than the fact that you pivoted. Everybody was forced to pivot, but it's just how you pivoted that really made the big difference. So at the end of the day, I think it's so important now. Dr. Cheryl, the book came out on October 19th. All over the world, right? October 19th is National Evaluate Your Life Day. Wow. So the book actually came out on a national day of celebrating evaluating your life, which is absolutely incredible. We've already won an award for one of the top 10 best books for living your best life. Wow. And so I'm really, really excited about that. And I know you're passionate about authors. You develop authors, you coach speakers and authors. And so you get how important this is. But I think globally, we're all asking that same question. What's my next? Whatever your next is, it's going to require a shift. Whatever it is, whether it's an income goal, whatever your next is personally, professionally, spiritually, financially, emotionally, right? Whatever that next is, it's going to require an internal shift within you to go to that next place. And so in the book, I give people 12 different chapters, and each chapter starts with the action verb shift, because the goal is to help you make a small change that makes a big difference. And everybody who's watching right now, paying attention or listening here, experience this. It's the small shifts that really make the big difference in life. And the reason why Dr. Cheryl, I wanted to write a book that was doable. If you really want me to make it plain, I wanted to write a book that was doable. And this is the best one I've ever done. This is my 8th book. 8 is my favorite number. And everybody thought that Caught Between a Dream and a Job was going to be my best book because it was just a complete game changer, put me on the map, sent me all around the world. But I got to be honest with you, Shifting to a Higher Gear is even better than Caught Between a Dream and a Job, because Caught Between a Dream and a Job was situational. So if you were caught between your dream and your job, the book was perfect for you. But if you weren't in that situation, if you were an entrepreneur killing it, the book didn't apply to you. If you loved what you did for a living, the book didn't apply to you. So Caught Between was fantastic, but it was fantastic for a subset of people. Whereas Shifting to a Higher Gear applies to everybody all around the world now is trying to shift, is trying to go to that next level, is trying to figure out, and is trying to figure out, watch this, Dr. Cheryl, how to create more meaning, right? I really believe that we all know this, COVID split time. And so for the rest of our lives, there will be pre-COVID and post-COVID. And I think one of the most important things people are asking for now is, how do I make sure that I'm not just making money, but I'm also making meaning with my life? I'm actually making a difference with my life, that my life actually has purpose. And one of the things that I teach entrepreneurs is that you have an obligation to make a difference and a dollar at the same time.
Well, amen and hallelujah to that. A difference and a dollar. Y'all go ahead and type that in the chat. Make a difference and a dollar. I'm not mad about that. Sheraton said, love that. It's how you pivot, right? The pivot's going to happen, but it's how you pivot. Angela said, I started listening to the audiobook yesterday. So you already got some Raven fans who are on board, and we're challenging you to go out and share that with others. I want to welcome my sister in business, Taria Vision Avant, who is also, she's the Book Profits Queen. So I know she's getting her hands on this and she's going to recommend it to her tribe and her community. Yes, Charlisa, make a difference and a dollar at the same time. I love, love, love that. I love how you talk about the shift, and you're right. It's going to be pre-COVID and post-COVID. And that piece about really living a life of meaning is so profound. I mean, I think about the number of people I know personally who have lost loved ones in the past 18 months, whether it was to COVID or outside of that. You know, even in my own family, we had the tragedy of losing my nephew, my 20-year-old nephew. And my sister is still, we're all going through the pain of that. But as a mother who had to bury her 20-year-old child, it's a pain that I've never witnessed firsthand, this up close and personal. But she has a choice to shift, even in that circumstance, to shift into a higher gear, to say, this story is about me, but ain't for me.
That's right. That's right. That's
How
right.
do I create meaning from this? How do I use this to help shift someone else into their higher gear by opening up and being vulnerable and sharing my story? So I love that. Everything that you talk about meaning and purpose and why am I really here and what am I really meant to do? That is good stuff. In the book, you talk about this thing called living life 3D. You know what that means. And then like, there's these two phrases that you coin in chapter 2. And I want to know what they really mean. Tell us a little bit more about it. So one is happy with day, WIDTH, and then happy depth day, DEPTH. So tell us about living life 3D and that with day and that depth day.
Dr. Cheryl, you're knocking on some tough stuff, man. I'm telling you, this book is a roller coaster. I mean, I didn't put no fluff in it. That I know y'all up in the DMV. I'm in Florida. In the DMV, y'all believe in jumbo lump crab meat, crab cakes, right? Yeah, no filler, no fluff, right? It's just straight, right. So I've learned that, right? So listen, that's what this book is. It is a crab bomb. It's 100% meat from beginning to finish. So you're asking about one of my favorite chapters, even though I don't have a favorite because they're all so profound. And you were mentioning a really, really good friend of mine, powerful sister, Taria Vision Avant. I love you so much, my friend. I'm grateful to you. I love the fact that we share this industry of publishing together. You're doing great and amazing things. So big shout out to you, sis. So listen, one of the things that I teach in chapter 2 of the book is shift from coasting to living life 3D. Shift from coasting to living life 3D. Well, Dr. Delatorro, what do you mean by that? I'm so glad you asked. Most people are coasting through life. They're living life coasting. They come into work on Monday. They just can't wait till it's Friday. And I think the challenge with doing that is that we're hitting the fast forward on the DVD of our life just to, watch this, Dr. Cheryl, get to a weekend of a week because our week had no power.
Ooh, y'all catch that? Ooh, that's good.
If you come in on Monday and you just can't wait till it's Friday, you are literally fast forwarding your life just to get to a weekend of a week because your week had no power.
Ooh.
Because you're coasting. And each day, you're not living each day intentionally. You're not living each day under power. Actually, when you coast in a vehicle, you're not even under power. The transmission is not connected to the engine, so you can't send power to the back wheel. See, I love motorcycles. Motorcycles are cool. Cars are cool, automobiles are cool, but motorcycles are way cooler. And that's what this book is all about. And you don't have to have ever in your life ridden a motorcycle or have any interest to ride a motorcycle to get massive value from the book, because the motorcycle is really just a backdrop for something that most people across humanity would love to do, but they're afraid of doing. So if you'd love to do it, but you're afraid of it, fear is winning the conversation in your day and in your life and in your business. And you're not living your dreams, you're actually living your fears.
Oh, that's so good. Somebody said, I missed it. Y'all, he said it 3 times. You gotta say the week again. You don't want that. All I remember is you don't want to have a week. Hello. You get to the end of the week at the weekend, and now you had a week. And so all your power was given away because you had a week. Like that right there. If you don't go buy the book just because of that, like I need to pull that sentence out and put it on my poster board. How did they get the book? Let's just tell them real quick before.
Absolutely. Everybody jump on Amazon right now, grab this book, get it on Audible. A couple of things really quick about the book that I think you guys are going to love. First of all, the book is in over 40 airports right now. This month of November, the book is in 40 airports all across the country, y'all. This book has been picked up it's been distributed by Penguin Random House, and it's published by Barrett Kohler. So y'all, this book is heading to the New York Times. We're really, really excited about it. Just 2 days ago, Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant has literally made this book the required read for the rest of 2021.
I love it.
The required read for the rest of 2021. And so I'm really, really excited about that. And we're just doing some really, really cool and funky things with it. But you can get the book on Amazon. You can also get it on barnesandnoble.com, whatever your favorite book publishing retailer is. Also, it's available on Audible. If you like audio content, go over on Audible. I did not let the publisher hire an outside actor to actually read the book. No, I went in studio, put my headphones on, and I read that thing my dadgum self. And so it's like a coaching session. So you can grab it on Audible, and make sure that when you grab the book, you leave us a review. But this is not the kind of book that you want to get one copy of. You really need to grab about 5 or 10 copies of this book. You need to make it a book study. You want to get several of your girlfriends together, your colleagues, your mastermind team. One of my good friends, Marquel Russell, just ordered this book for every member of his mastermind team. Another one of my great friends, Dr. Myron Golden, just bought 100 copies of this book to give to all of his inner circle members. So, I mean, there's just so many great things. I mean, Dr. Shirley Davis just bought a bulk of them to give to her top DEI coaching students that she coaches in diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this is the kind of book that you want to get in bulk. So go to Amazon to pick up the book, but you can also go to porchlightbooks.com if you want to buy the book in bulk, okay? So if you want to get it for a mastermind team, you want to get it for a book study, maybe at your church or with your girlfriend entrepreneur circle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I highly encourage you to grab multiple copies for 2 reasons. Number one, this is the time of year where you should be gifting anyway. Yep. Make sure that you're gifting to your clients, gifting to your vendors, gifting to the people who have been good to your children. I give books to my teachers, the parents, the principals and vice principals that are great to my kids all year. This is a great time of year to just express gratitude to family, friends, and people who have supported your brand throughout the year. No better way than to do that than to give a gift that keeps on giving. And that's what this book does. So people can go on Amazon, pick it up, go to audible.com. It's really, really incredible. So we're really, really grateful for that, Dr. Cheryl, but I wanted to honor your request. You told me to go back to the weekend or week. So when you wake up on Monday, and even if you run a business, this doesn't just apply to 9-to-5ers. Even if you run a business or you run a ministry, if you wake up on Monday and you just can't wait till it's Friday, you are fast forwarding the DVD of your life just to get to a week end of a week because your week had no power. So it is important that you shift out of coasting, like we talk about in chapter 2, into living life 3D. Well, Dr. Delatorro, what do you mean by living life 3D? I'm so glad you asked. Here's the truth. I love 3D movies. When a new movie comes out, especially if it's an action movie, right? Like Eternals or whatever, I want to see that in 3D. Why is that important to me? I want to see all the dimensions that go into that movie. And I want the experience of that movie in 3D. Now, here's what I believe. Life is coming at us in 3D every day, all the time. But you can only process a 3D movie if you got on the right lenses. And in fact, without the proper lenses, a 3D movie will give you a headache. You will be dizzy in a 3D world when you don't have the right possibility lenses on.
Did y'all catch that? The right possibility lenses on. Hello, type that in the chat. Possibility lenses. What do your possibility lenses look like? Is it giving you a headache, or is it allowing you to truly, fully enjoy what's in front of you? That is so powerful. You know, it's always good. It's always juicy when Delatorro stopped by. Look, this is so much I want to talk to you about. But in the book, there is something that you talk about. You talk about people wanting success. And we hear this all the time. And you even mentioned this earlier. People want success. They want greatness. They want this. They want that. They want it quicker now than ever before. But they don't want to apply persistence and dedication. So you say there's something, a term you phrase, and you say you've got to put your weight into it. What does that mean? You got to put your weight into it. Break it down for them.
All right, cool. So, and you asked me another question too, so I got to get to both of them. So real quick, I didn't answer your with day and death day question. So let me hit that real quick, and then I'm going to jump to put your weight into it. So to finish up chapter 2, all of our lives, I'm actually working on a TED Talk about this right now, Dr. Cheryl, because I've never heard this talk before. It's in the book, and I really believe that this is going to go gangbusters. All of our life, we were taught to live life one-dimensionally. We were taught to live our length of years. And if someone lived till they were 70, 80, 90 years old, we said, oh, they lived a full life. But we're measuring it through length of years. We celebrate length of years through birthdays. However, in school, we were never taught to measure mass one-dimensionally. You actually are supposed to measure mass 3-dimensionally. You have to measure length, width, and depth. So here's the truth. When was the last time you saw somebody on Instagram having a happy width day at Cheesecake Factory or at Ruth Chris celebrating a happy depth day? We don't live deep and we don't live wide. We tend to focus on only living our length of years, our birthdays. And here's what I firmly believe. You can either live 100 years or you can live 1 year 100 times. And a lot of us live 1 year 100 times. Come on, somebody, because we stay in our circle of sameness. We stay in the same circles of who we connect with, our mindsets, our paradigms. So we don't even live the length of years. We live that same year over and over and over again. And to take it a little bit deeper, here's what's powerful. Let me ask you a question. What is the common denominator between Bruce Lee, Princess Diana, Selena, Bob Marley, Chris Farley, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these Sam Cooke, all these amazing people that we will remember for the rest of our lives? The personality, the person of Jesus Christ. Not a single one of them lived beyond the age of 40 years old. So they didn't have 70, 80 years. But the reason why we remember them for the rest of our lives and throughout human history is because in their industry and in their profession, they lived wide and they lived deep. So they lived 3D. Isn't that powerful?
That's very powerful.
So we got to shift. We got to shift out of coasting. Come on, somebody. And we got to shift into living life 3-dimensionally, where we celebrate our length, our width, and our depth.
I love it. It's making every day and every moment count.
Yes.
And I believe making it count is making it bigger than yourself. Like, it's not just about Cheryl. My life is bigger than me. Shifting into a higher gear for me is really having that perspective that I got up today and I said yes because I know somebody's praying for me to show up. That's a higher, shift into a higher gear. I got up today, even if I didn't feel like it, I did it because somebody else is waiting on me to share my gift. Somebody is waiting on me to live in my depth and waiting on me to live a deeper life than just the numbers. That's so profound. I will never forget that.
Sis, let's high five on that one, because you're so right. Because so many times we think that a higher gear always means exclusively speed, and it does not.
Right.
The pandemic allowed us all as parents to shift into a higher gear with our parenting. Because guess what? We couldn't just farm our kids off to school. No. Now we had to shift into a higher gear in terms of what our children are learning and how we're training them up entrepreneurially and in the business community, and teaching them scripture, and teaching them the word, and teaching them faith and finances and business and managing and failure, teaching our kids failure. Letting our kids see things. How does mom and dad bounce back when things don't work out?
Yeah.
My daughter's watching me have to pivot an entire business completely virtual.
Yes.
And they was over there in virtual school, one room over, and they're watching dad give virtual keynotes and webinars and crush the stage and business mastery completely virtual.
I love that. I love that. You know what that makes me think of? Like when you go to the gym, oh, this is just so good. It does expand so much bigger than just you. You're shifting into a higher gear. Somebody's watching you shift into a higher gear, and they feel like if he can, I can. If she can shift higher, I can shift higher. It's almost like when you go to the gym and you see the 85-year-old on the treadmill, and you're like, well, wait a minute. I'm only walking at a 3.0 speed.
Wait a minute.
She got to at least be doing 5. Okay, no, and you pressing the button up to go at a higher speed because that person has now inspired you through what they are demonstrating. That's the same concept. When they see shifting into the higher gear, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Hold on now. I'm not going to get left behind. Let me shift too. That's right. To a higher gear. And your kids are the direct benefactors of that shifting, and it shifts them. Even in my own household, my daughter launched a whole new clothing brand during the pandemic.
Come on, y'all.
The brand is just taking off. We went to the hair salon maybe 3 weeks ago. We go to get our hair done, and she ends up walking out with almost $500 worth of sales from her new clothing line that she launched in the pandemic. Talk about shifting higher. And I believe that is a direct byproduct of what she has seen modeled from my example. Again, so it says, my life is bigger than me. When I shift higher, I'm bringing other people with me. So I just love the concept. I love everything about it. There's something that you share, a really, really personal story, Delatorro, in this book about losing your mom just a couple years ago. And you said that she taught you an invaluable lesson that represents the engine of the bike of our lives. What's the lesson? And we can't give it all to y'all because you got to go get the book if you want the whole story, but he's gonna give you just a snippet. What's the lesson, and how does that relate to what you call emotional mastery?
So one of the things that I firmly believe, Dr. Cheryl, that's really important that we all got to really get this is that I firmly believe that the engine, right? That's one of the things people love about a motorcycle is that roaring of the engine. The engine of the motorcycle of your life is not your to-do list. The engine of the motorcycle of your life is really one thing, and that is the quality of the core emotions that you experience on a daily basis. Your life is really boiled down to the core emotions that you experience every day. And so my mother, who died on April 30th, 2013, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, my best friend, way more than a parent. She was a mentor. She was a coach. She groomed me to be who I am today. She was a Sunday school teacher and an English teacher. So if you were going to be Olivia's kid, you had to be able to talk. And so my mom, every time you ask Olivia how she was doing, her number one answer was, "Oh, child, I am blessed." Did not matter what kind of day she had, did not matter what the diagnosis she got, did not matter if a boss got on her nerves, did not matter if me and my older brother Michael got on her nerves, did not matter if she had just gone through a physically abusive domestic violence situation with my stepdad, who was a deacon in the church, who was lifting up holy hands on Sunday and lifting that same hand to beat my mom throughout the week. It didn't matter what she was going through, even with that, and helping us survive through that. Her response was always, "I'm blessed." So my mom, unknowing, she didn't even know that she was doing this. She hardwired me that my emotional home plate, my emotional home is gratitude. Every single day, years before gratitude journals became popular, years before gratitude rocks became popular on The Secret, Olivia was ingraining in my bones that no matter what I go through, I should be grateful and thankful. And so one of the things that we teach in the book is shift from task mastery to emotional mastery, because the truth is you are the quality of the core emotions that you experience every day. And the truth is you will always find your way back home. And one of the things that I teach people is that, listen, no matter where you are in the world, is when you go to Waze or Google Maps, when you hit that thing that says home, it's going to route you back home. So you have to be clear about what your emotional home is. So because we all know people, Dr. Cheryl, who no matter how great their day goes, if their emotional home is aggravation, stress, and pissed off, they will find their way back there somehow. They will find something wrong in the day to be pissed off about, annoyed, frustrated. Come on, somebody, right? And we also know people who, no matter how bad their day goes, if their emotional home plate is set to joy, peace, bliss, love, they will always find their way back there too. So the purpose of that chapter is to help people get out of just the dogma of doing things and get into the living space and the feeling space of not only getting clear about what your emotional home is, but then taking it one final step further and actually being the emotion that you say you want. Because the truth is most of us think that happiness is in another state. We think bliss is in another country like Bali. We think that peace is in some other retreat place. Like I have to go somewhere to find that emotion. And one of the things that my mentor taught me was that be the emotion that you want to experience. Embody it. So we teach you in that chapter how to be joy, how to be love, how to be power, how to be grateful. And if you be that thing, and it's just a core of who, if you just own it, then everything about that emotion now begins to attract itself to you. I mean, it's sick. That's why folks got to get the book.
You gotta get the book. If you just popped on, if you're running, you were running late. Let me tell you who we're talking to. We're talking to Dr. Delatorro McNeal. He is a New York Times bestselling author. We are claiming that because you guys are going to buy so many copies of this book that we are going to make it happen. We're talking about his new book, Shift into a Higher Gear, and he has been dropping all kind of gems and nuggets and fire bombs. If this has been juicy so far, just type juicy in the chat. I know some of you are on your lunch break, you're listening in, you're sneaking in, you're like, okay, I got to get a little bit of Dr. Delatorro, and I know it's been juicy already. Just type juicy in the chat if it's been juicy for you, and let us know if you went over and purchased your copy, because we want to celebrate you and call you out. I know someone said just purchased. Sheraton said book ordered. And then someone else earlier said they got the audio book. Let's support. Taria, our sister, said just got 10 copies, sister.
That's it. Come on, somebody.
And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to order it for my new group of premium clients who just came on board at SpeakerCon. So I'll be going over to get a bulk of those books as well, because there is power in numbers. And those numbers include the numbers that we spend, our dollars. Hello. Let's make it count for the things that are important and the things that are elevating us into new spaces. So we're going to start wrapping up, but I got to ask these last couple questions, because I need the people to know what they're missing out on if they don't already have the book. And then I need them running over to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and getting not one or two, but several copies of the book. We're in the holiday season, y'all. Put it in. I don't care what else you got them. You got them some cute little shoes, a purse. Put the book in the purse with it. Put it in there.
Thank you.
Right? Like, give them. This is what I always say, especially in the African American community. Oftentimes, we invest more on us than in us. Teach. And I want us. It's fine to look great. I love all this transformation you're seeing and all these new pretty clothes and all that. But baby, my inside got to match what you see on the outside.
Come on, somebody.
And so that's about what you're putting in. What are you consuming? What are you reading? Our good friend and coach Les Brown says it's not garbage in, garbage out. It's garbage out, garbage in. It's garbage in, garbage stays in.
Yes,
so if you put positive in, it's gonna stay in. And now you have that fuel, if you will, to pull on for joy and gratitude and appreciation and all the things that Della's talking about in this phenomenal New York Times best-selling book.
Yes. Dr. Shell, I got to echo something real quick that's powerful, because you asked me about this earlier, and you were asking me about putting your weight into something. Now, this is sickening. We got to talk about this for a quick second. I believe everybody is going to literally throw this Zoom on the floor when they hear this. Good God. It's so powerful. Motorcycles are different from automobiles. I love automobiles, but I think just motorcycle life is just cooler. Here's why. So on an automobile, when you want to change direction, you have to turn the steering wheel hard to the left, or you got to turn it hard to the right, and the vehicle goes in whatever direction you turn it. However, on a motorcycle, that's not the way it works. Please pay attention to this. This is going to bless your whole soul. On a motorcycle takes 100% of its direction from your intention. I'm going to say it again. A motorcycle takes its direction from your intention. Now, how does a motorcycle know what your intention is? Where you put your weight. So a motorcycle knows if you lean left, come on, somebody, you're going left. If you lean right, then you're going right. So here's my question. What have you put your weight into lately?
Yes.
Who have you put your weight into lately? And have you really gone all in on something? Because half-assery is not going to get you the results you desire. And so many of us do just enough. We live in just enough land. There was a study that was done in the USA Today. It said most employees work hard enough for employers just so that they don't get fired. And most employers pay employees just enough so that they won't quit. So everybody is doing just enough. But just enough land is not going to help you shift into a higher gear. You got to learn to put your weight into it. I remember when I was a little boy, Dr. Cheryl, when some of the sisters of the church would cook for my mom and my family, we would come home and she would kind of plate up everything, heat it up and put it on the table. Then she would take one bite of the collard greens and she would say, ah! She said, Sister Gallman stuck her whole foot in them collard greens. And when I was a kid, I didn't fully understand what a foot in collard greens, I thought it was disgusting. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what the reference was. Later on in life, what I learned was that means that she put her whole weight into it. Yeah. She put her all into that dish. And so to this day, I've learned to put my WEIGHT into everything. But here's the thing. And if you want to put your weight into it, you got to really commit to excellence versus perfection. Because a lot of us let perfection prevent us from going after our goals and dreams at the level and at the rate that we need to. Because you're so consumed at trying to make it perfect before you put it out there. Let me free you right now. Everything you buy is imperfect when you buy it. The automobile you have right now wasn't perfect when they sold it to you. That's why you have to constantly take it in for maintenance, constantly take it in for updates. The phone that you bought wasn't perfect when you bought it. The laptop that you have is not perfect when you bought it. That's why you have to constantly download updates. The apps have to constantly be updated. Fire off in the chat. Come on, somebody. Everything you consume is imperfect when you bought it, but your dollars paid for their research and development. While you sitting back waiting for your stuff to be perfect before you put it out there. So one of the things that I like to encourage everyone to do is shift your focus and put your weight into excellence. So here's what I want you all to do. I want everybody who's been enjoying this teaching so far, I want you to text the word shift. If you're ready to shift into your next level, I want you to text the word shift to 647, right? 558, type it in the chat, 9895, all right? I want you to text the word shift to 647 558 9895. And here's what's going to happen. Right before we did this big push, I took a little mini vacation because I knew how much work I was getting ready to put into this project. And I went over to Costa Rica. While I was there, I recorded an 8-part series on how to lean into excellence. And I teach you, if you study Dr. Cheryl Wood, everything about SpeakerCon, excellence. If you study top brands, everything that we do, excellence. One of my top students, her name is Lethea Owens. She says, Delatorro, your middle name should not be Levon. It should be excellence. She said, because everything you do it with a spirit of quality and excellence. So I deconstruct how to be excellent so that you can model that in every area of your life. So if you're ready to lean in and shift into a higher gear and put your weight into something, put your weight into excellence and watch what happens. I want you to text the word shift to 647 558 9895. And you will receive in your email inbox, literally an 8-part series. Each video is about 5 to 7 minutes. I shot it live in Costa Rica at a beautiful hot springs. It was incredible. And I'm teaching you 8 concepts on excellence and how important excellence is in your life, in your business, in your brand. It's a massive game changer for you. And once you do that and you put your weight into it, my friend, you're going to start seeing massive results. But what I love, Dr. Cheryl, about the rest of the chapter is the metaphor is not done. Not only do you have to put your W-E-I-G-H-T into it, but you also have to give it some time to work and put your W-A-I-T into it as well. Because the truth is, we got to learn how to be like a stamp and stick to one thing until it delivers.
Delatorro, them daggone metaphors, boy, the similes, they be taking us to English class. I love it. You got to put the stamp on it and stick to it until it delivers. I love that. Look, all right, look, people are on their lunch breaks. We got to let them go. But look, I got to ask this final question. First of all, get your books. I didn't say book. I said books, plural, with S-O-N, books, right? You need to get multiple copies. Put them in the stockings. Put them in the handbag you're going to give to the friend, the girlfriend, the good friend, or whoever. Like, give them to your people, to your clients. Give them to your family. Give them to your friends. Get multiple copies of this book. Go to Amazon like ASAP and get copies. I know many of you have posted in the group that you've gotten your audio book, that you've gotten your copies. And then here's the best thing. Don't just get copies, books, but tell some other people to go and get the book.
Yes,
right? There's power in numbers. There's power in spreading the word about this amazing project that Delatorro has put his whole heart, he has put his weight into this for you, right? Like, so let's go ahead and let's celebrate. Let's get him to that New York Times bestseller list. So you're talking about all this great stuff. You're talking about our emotions. You're talking about putting our weight in. You're talking about sticking with it. But in the stick with it and in the persistence and all the stuff there are sometimes potholes that we encounter along the way. And that's what I want to close out on. How do we maneuver around the potholes, Dr. Delatorro, that seek to derail our success? That's going to be what you're going to go out on. Because somebody's on this call and they're like, but I got this pothole, but I got this challenge, but I'm in this valley. How do we maneuver the potholes?
So incredibly powerful. Have mercy. Chapter 11 is shift to defensive driving. Woo! To avoid the 4 potholes that you will encounter along the way. I don't have a favorite chapter in this book. I get chills every time I get a chance to talk about each one. Footnote before I answer the question. That's the kind of book you want to write. If your content doesn't move you, it will not move your audience. I'm going to say that again. As an author, as an influencer, write content that moves you. Because if it doesn't move you, it's not going to move them. Mm-hmm. Your own content, listen, your book should work harder on you than you do on your book. It should do something to you. And that's why I want you to get the book. And then I want you to go to shiftintoahighergear.com and grab the workbook. Cheryl, you know, my master's is in curriculum design, instructional systems. So I decided to create a companion workbook that is inspired by the book. It's got 5 to 6 different exercises per chapter that's not in the physical book. It's a journal and a workbook all in one. And so people can go to shiftintoahighergear.com to grab that workbook. You can't get the workbook on Amazon. You get the books on Amazon. You get the workbook on shiftintoahighergear.com. But I created it so it's a tandem resource for people to be able to take their lives to that next level. My friend, here's the truth. In an automobile, if you hit a pothole, it's an inconvenience. On a motorcycle, if you hit a pothole, it can be fatal. So you must learn what we call defensive driving. You have to maneuver around those potholes. And with the little time that we have to talk about it, I'm going to talk to you about. So one of the potholes is loneliness and isolation. And when I tell you this pandemic, y'all, literally put gasoline on loneliness and isolation, because a lot of us we had to quarantine. So a lot of us who are already kind of introverted and kind of stay to ourselves had to now double down on that. So loneliness and isolation is a massive pothole that you got to be real careful about, because if you're not careful, as you achieve and as you succeed, you'll do all that great stuff and you will be lonely. And how many of us have seen famous people who have changed the world die by themselves in a hotel room?
Yes.
Overdosing on this or drinking that or being by themselves. You were not wired to be by yourself. You were wired for community. You were wired for connection. That's why we even created a Facebook group around this whole brand called the Shift Into a Higher Gear Global Biker Posse. You can join that community absolutely free, because we believe that shift is better together. We want you to shift in various areas of life. We want you to do it together. You got to avoid that pothole of loneliness and isolation by connecting with people. And watch this, and by letting people know that you're available to connect with them. Some of us as high achievers, let's be honest, we have conditioned people that we're so busy that they don't invite us to stuff. So some of our loneliness is our own fault, because while you're marketing how amazing you are, and while you're marketing how busy you are on stages and planes and traveling and this, that, and the other, you know what that says to people? Oh, she ain't gonna come to my party. He's not gonna come to my gathering. And so sometimes you promoting how amazing you are teaches other people not to invite you places. So when you are home, you stuck like Chuck watching Netflix all night instead of being at the concert. Come on, somebody. Instead of being at the game, instead of being at the outing. So I want to encourage each one of you all to shift from loneliness and isolation to shift into companionship by letting people know when you're available and letting people know you'd like to hang out with them and saying yes more to invitations. Because y'all, sometimes we are so busy and we're so successful that people assume that we're going to always say no. Dr. Cheryl Wood, isn't that powerful? Just that right there. That's just one of the 4.
And it sounds like this book is a combination of not only business success, but life success. Totally. Like everything I've heard you talk about, it's real time, real life, relevant and relatable life principles to shift into a higher gear in your personal life, your personal development, and your professional and business development. Would you say that's true about the book?
500%, sis. And what I'm talking about is true. For example, I used to never get invited to Super Bowl parties. I was like, what the heck is going on? The Super Bowl is tonight and nobody's invited me anywhere. I'm like, and then so I called 5 of my friends. I said, how come y'all are having a Super Bowl party and you didn't invite me? They're like, dude, we love you. We'd love for you to be here right now. But one of 2 things, either number 1, we thought you were busy or out of town, or 2, we thought you would have 25 invitations and you certainly wouldn't want to come to ours. Isn't that powerful, y'all? Can y'all fire off in the comments? Because that's real and transparent. So I had to learn how to start saying to my friends, listen, guys, I'm in town all weekend, not traveling. I've got my daughters. I'm open to whatever you guys have going on. And then I started getting back invited to beach outings and to jazz concerts and to cooking shows and expeditions and fashion shows and nonprofit event fundraisers in my town. But I had to realize that my busy life, as my life looked so busy on social media, made other people think that I was either gone too much or their gatherings were too small for a brand like me to want to show up. So it's possible that sometimes, y'all, we're creating our own loneliness and isolation just because, and it's not even intentional. It's just that when people think that you're balling and you're killing it and you're a high achiever, they just assume you're busy. So that's one way to shift and to maneuver around that pothole of loneliness and isolation. And then I'm gonna give you a bonus. And here's another pothole: rejection. Rejection is a massive pothole that we as high achievers struggle with big time. Okay. And listen, I need you to understand something. If you've been rejected, you are in good company. Van Gogh only sold 2 pieces of his artwork when he was alive. Vincent Van Gogh sold 2 pieces of his artwork while he was alive. Steven Spielberg got rejected 3 times from his television and film college before he got accepted in California. J.K. Rowling got turned down 12 times before her book finally hit, and now she's a billionaire because of Harry Potter. Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield got turned down 144 times for their incredible work, which we now know as Chicken Soup for the Soul. Oprah Winfrey was told she was never television material. Y'all, the list goes on and on and on. Walt Disney was fired from 2 jobs for a lack of creativity and a lack of imagination. Y'all, if you've been rejected, come on, somebody. I need somebody to fire off in the comments on this one. If you have been rejected, I need you to understand something. Rejection is hidden selection. If you have been rejected, you have been chosen for something else. You've been chosen for something more powerful. You have been chosen for something more amazing. You don't grow up with a name like Delatorro and not realize that you were a little bit different. I've been called every Ninja Turtle known to man, okay, since I was 5. I didn't get in the fraternity that I wanted to get into when I was in college. I have experienced rejection. I thought I was going to be in corporate America for 15 years. I was in corporate America for 1 year. I've been a full-time speaker 19 years, and I'm 44 years young. I've experienced all kinds of rejection on the way to 3-peating the $1 Million Roundtable, on the way to giving over 4,000 paid talks globally, mentoring over 500 influencers. You're going to experience rejection along the way, but rejection is hidden selection. If someone else said no, that just means next for someone else.
Yeah, and that can be so hard to really receive in the moment of the rejection, but that's why you need to get your hands on a book like this so that you have it right there in front of you to remind you this is a part of the process. Y'all, getting to who you're meant to be, who God said you're intended to be, what you're intended to impact, how you're intended to impact the world, that doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen just because you think you deserve it. Like, you're going to go through some stuff, and rejection, like Delatorro says, has to be a part of it. I remember going to an Infusionsoft conference and hearing Simon Sinek speak, and he was talking about rejection and fear. And he's like, no, it's not if, it's when. When you get rejected, you're going to be rejected. You're going to have all of those things have to be a part of the journey. But man, what you produce on the other side of it, if you get back up, that's the point. What you produce on the other side if you get back up, and that is a decision. We've got to make a decision that we're going to press through rejection. We've got to make a decision that rejection is not the end. That's a temporary stall. Okay, until what I was selected for shows up. So your job is to keep getting back up. Your job is to keep pressing. Your job is to have what I call obstinate persistence. Stubborn. I'm stubbornly going to keep going until I get to what God has hand selected for me. Get the book. Get the book. Get the books. Plural with the S on the end.
That's it.
Into a higher gear. We are claiming it. We are speaking it for Dr. Delatorro McNeal, New York Times best-selling book. I am so proud of you. I thank you. I know you're busy too, but thank you for letting us know that you had time for us over here in the Dr. Cheryl Wood Empowers community to pour into us. Yes, Jacqueline Jeffers says, got my book. Charlissa said, just ordered the workbook too. Remember, you guys, you can get the book on Amazon, but you can get the workbook at shiftingtoahighergear.com.
That's right. That's it.
All right. So get both. You owe it to yourself to get both and to get multiple copies. Bless someone else as you're on your journey of being blessed. As I like to say, lift as you climb. So closing words, Dr. Delatorro, closing final words.
If you want to change anything in your life, it's going to require a shift. I'm going to give you 3 simple steps to shift anything in your life. And again, I want to make sure some of y'all joined late. Text SHIFT to the phone number I'm about to give you so that you can get our 8-part series on excellence. The number again is 647-558-9228. 9895. Just text the word shift that, so that way you can get our 8-part series on shifting into excellence. But my closing words for you are this. Again, Dr. Cheryl Wood, you've been remarkable. Thank you for encouraging. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for pushing. Thank you for honoring me just 2 years ago with the Legendary Speaker Award in Washington, D.C. You are remarkable. You're incredible. I'm so grateful to you for how you have shown up and how you have blossomed and how you have created your own space in this industry. So you are remarkable. I love you as a trailblazer, as a co-laborer and an influencer in this industry. If you want to make any change in your life, you got to make 3 simple shifts. First thing you got to do is this. Whatever it is that you want to change, you got to see it as it is. Please write this down for me. See it as it is. You must be a realist. If you want to make any change in your life, you got to take it to the next level. Once you see it as it is, you got to, number 2, see it better than the way that it is, which means you got to be an optimist. And then the third thing that you got to do if you really want to make a significant shift or change in your life is you've got to take it to the final third step, and you have to make it like you see it. You've got to be an activist. So number 1, you got to see it like it is. So let's just take your finances. See your finances like they are right now. Number 2, see your finances better than the way that they are. Number 3, go out there and make it like you see it. See your body like it is today. Naked in the mirror, whatever you like and whatever you don't like. Be honest about where you are. See your body better than the way it is. Every day, make good decisions to make it like you see it. See your kids' entrepreneurial journey as it is. See their journey better than the way it is. Go out there and make it like you see it. See your book career, your publishing career as it is. Your speaking career as it is. See your speaking career better than the way it is. Every day, go out there and chip away and make it like you see it. You can apply this in any area. See your marriage as it is. Your marriage, your relationship, your significant other, your boo, it's complicated, whatever. See it like it is. See it better than the way it is. Make it like you see it. Be a realist, be an optimist, and then go out there and be an activist every day. And you will shift into a higher gear. Love you all. Thank you so much. God bless.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, this was worth the investment of your time showing up and just not only being able to go and get the books, plural, but also being able to get such a good word and just all of that great energy and positivity that Dr. Delatorro McNeal always delivers. He over delivers every time. I am so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I can't wait to see the announcement that you are a New York Times best-selling author. You will hit those, what is it, 8,888 copies or something like that?
That's it. Come on.
You're getting it. It's already done. That thing is already done.
Come on, somebody.
This community is going to help you to achieve that. What was the key code for the text? Can you give the text one more time? Yes.
So you just text the word shift to 647-558-9895.
All right, and we just typed that again in the chat. You guys go ahead and grab it before we end this session. You're texting the word shift to 647-558-9895. Go buy your books and then go tell 5 more friends to buy at least 5 copies. Come on, can we do that? Can we do that? We can do that for someone who has come and poured into us and who pours into so many globally. We can give our support in that way. And like he mentioned, this is the season of giving. Y'all, let's give people what they really are yearning for. Yeah. Not stuff, not more stuff, but things they can put inside so that they can shift into a higher gear, right? We want people to be better than they are today. We want them to be better. We want them to be more successful. We want them to be more fulfilled. We want them to have more meaning in their life. This is the book that's going to help them to do that. So give them something greater than just the handbag, the shoes, the stuff that they're going to throw in the corner after a couple months anyway.
Come on.
Give them something that's going to last, that they can pick up over and over and over again and consistently be inspired, be motivated, be empowered, be equipped, be educated, be informed about how they can shift into a higher gear. Thank you, Dr. Delatorro.
Love you.
Congrats. I'll be waiting to see the news posted on. I want a direct text message.
Yes, ma'am. She said,
I want something direct. I know you're busy, but I'll be looking because I want to be able to share that with my community that, look, y'all, we did our small part to help him reach that New York Times bestseller list. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Everybody have an amazing day, an amazing weekend. And if I don't talk to you, amazing holidays. next week as you, again, get the opportunity to express gratitude for all that you have. It's not about counting what you don't have. It's what do I have that I can express gratitude for.
Amen.
Y'all have an amazing day. Take care.